Alrighty, welcome into Chalk Talk Social. It is Tuesday, April 14th, and Rory McIlroy, he's wearing his second green jacket. He makes history at the Masters. That was obviously the big thing from this weekend. That Masters got absolutely heated. We'll crack into it more in the top 10 and 10. Iman, what is going on? How are we doing over there?
You already know what it is. I'm about my money. I'm about my biz. You know it's me. Gotta bring it back. When you hear that, there it is. You already know beginning of the week feeling good, man. Playoffs is good for the NBA. Like you said, Masters, what a win for Rory. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't expect it, but I mean, when you're a winner, you're just gonna win at the end of the day. It's crazy because I follow this dude named Fred Duncan. He's like this sports trainer. He was showing how Rory does like cross training, how strong he is, explosive. I was like, damn, he's pretty strong and explosive. Just the workouts he does is like remnants of track working out. And I'm like, all right, I can see why he's so good. He's an athlete.
Yeah, his body's holding up well into his old age. Like he was out driving. I think there's one hole that drivers were averaging like 315 and he poked one 350. So he's still in great playing shape. In less great playing shape was Ichiro's bat on his statue reveal. I'm not sure if you saw that. The malfunction when they revealed Ichiro's statue outside of the stadium, they took the tarp off and the bat went limp. There's like a Blue Chew Viagra ad in here somewhere about getting it back up. But, he had Griffey around, he had Edgar Martinez around, even Ichiro. They all started laughing about it. And the Mariners, they played right along. They went in and redid the graphic for the night. So they had like a graphic to sponsor the whole thing and whatnot, the bobblehead, and they redid it with the broken bat and everything.
That's
so
funny.
They played into it.
That's funny.
It was all fun, but that was crazy. But maybe even crazier, I know we were talking about this before recording, was the Ruben Bain story that came out, which we don't have it in the top 10 and 10, so might as well talk about it right now really quick. Is if you missed this, it's a little bit delicate, but it's not. I don't know. 2 years ago, he got into a careless driving accident, which put someone in his car into a coma who then passed away a few days later. A few years ago. And it's just randomly coming out now by some random person, but it blew up NFL Twitter. It's definitely a true story. It's been entirely brushed under the rug and never made news until now, like a week and a half before a man's getting drafted potentially in the top 5. Do you have any initial thoughts on this one?
So, yeah, prayers to the family who lost somebody. Yeah. I mean, I know that's never good, but I'm just kind of over these college guys with these cars just being reckless and just doing anything. And I get it. You get away with anything you want when you're a top player. I just think we got to start putting some real repercussions to these kids behind. And all they do, listen, Austin, I know my nephew wanted to buy a car as soon as he got his NIL. I said, for what? For what? Ride your fucking scooter to school because all they do is go buy the Hellcats and the Demons and the Challengers just to speed. And listen, man, and they're always drunk and just reckless people. But, I don't know how I feel about that because I'm like, if that was me, I'm going to be in jail. I wouldn't be on Chalk Talk Social. I would be in jail. Somebody died. I just think that's crazy to just brush under the rug. But we know Miami got deep pockets. Ruben Bain got deep pockets now.
That's kind of what I was thinking, man. It's ugly. And, I think the mom had a statement, something that, it's like all forgiven. It was a tragic accident. Didn't seem like there was much animosity, which is strange, which I was like, how much did they pay you that this never came out? There was no charges. There was no lawsuit. There was no court, none of that shit. Because we would have known about it. It would have been way too public and none of it. And so, that's why I was like, it's very weird how this has been entirely swept under the rug. It's coming out now. Even the family is like, or the parents like, it was a really bad accident, tragic accident, which it didn't sound like. Apparently, Bain wasn't doing anything egregious. It just kind of was still a thing that resulted in, murder. Like, I don't know if we want to tiptoe around it. That's murder. We'd all be in jail. But yeah, we don't have deep university pockets. So, that is crazy. A week and a half before the draft, that one coming out, and it's been, like I said, all the talk. So, everyone's confirming it's a real story. Wild shit, man. Wild shit. But all right, let's get into the top 10 and 10. I know I feel like we haven't done it in like 2 weeks or something, or maybe it was just a Michigan recap week we did. But let's get into the top 10 and 10 before we crack into the rest of this show. Kicking it off at number 1, like we started with, Rory McIlroy winning his back-to-back Masters. He is now the 4th repeat champion of Masters history, joining Nicklaus, Faldo, and Tiger. His 6th majors ties him with Nick Faldo for the most by a European in the modern era. And mind you, it took Rory 17 years of professional golf until he finally got his first Masters, and now he's back to back. Hell of a way to continue to grow the legacy, and it was a crazy, crazy Sunday. I'll get into it really quick because the leaderboards were nuts to end this thing. If you don't care about golf, fast forward. McIlroy, he came in on Sunday. He just blown one of the largest 36-hole leads in Masters history, a 6-shot advantage that just evaporated from a really tough day 3. And then he double bogeyed the 4th hole on Sunday. So this was all coming crashing down in front of Rory's face as he's double bogeying. Justin Rose and Cameron Young, they're rising to the top spots. Hell, even Colin Morikawa kind of came out of the shadows out of nowhere, birdieing 5 straight holes in the back 9 to finish tied 3rd. And all of a sudden, he was -10 and competing for the win as well. So like I said, at moments on the back 9, it was an electric factory where it looked like 5 different golfers could have walked out the winner. The momentum pendulum finally swung back in Rory's favor because Rose and Young both started to slip. Rory nailed a beauty on hole 12, pinning one of the closest shots of the day, I think 7 feet from the hole, drained a birdie, followed up with another just savvy vet hole on 13 to escape the pine straw, get another birdie, like I said, at the very humbling Amen corner where a lot of golfers, including Rory, have struggled. And of course, Scottie Scheffler, the world number 1 for a reason. He started the final round 12 back, no realistic path to a green jacket. So just naturally in classic Scottie Scheffler form, he went on one of the greatest Sunday charges we've seen in recent Masters memory. A bogey-free weekend, becoming the first player to complete the final 2 rounds of the Masters without a single bogey since 1942, almost winning the damn thing out of nowhere. So it was a crazy, hole 17, he had this putt, man. I'm telling you, if you were watching it, he missed this thing. It edged out by a millimeter. And with how Rory's hole 18 shook out, it would have forced the playoff if that putt would have sank. And he had the line all the way up until it just rimmed barely. I'm talking one hair away from forcing the playoff. So there's your Masters recap. Long, whatever. Number 2.
Number 2, in Dick Vermeil fashion, playoffs. NBA season is wrapped up now, and we are into the NBA playoffs right now as the Pistons and OKC take the top seeds heading into the playoffs. The Detroit Pistons, what a finish, man. We thought they were done without Cade, but, man, those number 2s and those young guys finished the season. 60 wins for the 3rd time in franchise history, first since the 2005 goodness grief, in 2005 and 06 season, which is 20 years. Oklahoma City finished at the top again, 64-18, number 1 seed with the San Antonio Spurs as a number 2. What a number 1 pick do for you, and adding just pieces around them. I mean, they went from assy to classy real fast. Notable first round matchups: Rockets. We got so lucky. Rockets versus the Lakers with no Luka. Even if he comes back, he's going to be a limping Luka. Nuggets versus Timberwolves. Knicks versus the Hawks, which I'm predicting right now the Atlanta Hawks will upset the Knicks in the first round. And the Cavaliers versus the Raptors. Man, I'm super excited. I can't wait for the West Final. I'm really just waiting for the West Final. But, yeah, I think I don't know. Detroit may break it out of the East. I just got to see them. But, yeah, it's here. I'm excited. These play-in games are going to be super excited, too. So I want to see who come out of these play-in games before I make my big predictions on who's coming out the East.
Fair enough. Well, keeping it in basketball, who won't be coming out of the East is the Milwaukee Bucks, who praise the NBA gods. The Bucks have fired or parted ways, whatever you want to call it, with Doc Rivers after just a miserably underwhelming couple seasons. All fans are hoping he doesn't end up in a front office for all his 97 and 103 record in Milwaukee. All it really did was help facilitate a franchise setback. It played a big role in severing the relationship with Giannis. That now seems like a sure bet that he's gone this offseason. and it removed the Bucks from the ranks of the NBA's finest almost the moment Doc walked in the door. Add in 2 first-round playoff exits to his resume that he talks so highly of. Missed the first postseason the Bucks did since 2016. So again, Doc, talking about that resume he touts around, make sure to add that one to it. Milwaukee's net rating with Rivers as a coach was a negative 0.8 for a team with a 2-time MVP, one of the world's most dominant players we've ever seen, inheriting a top-heavy roster with more talent than most teams. That tells you a lot about the person calling X's and O's. I know this year was a weird shakeup with the roster and stuff, but the Bucks had a 39% winning percentage this season under Rivers, is their worst since Giannis's rookie year in 2013. Honestly, man, and again, fraud. Big. I've always had the fraud alert up on Doc. He had the alleged thing about him talking about his resume to the team or whatever. Even if that is taken out of context, bro, like, your resume is the big 3 getting you a championship and you winning an NBA midseason cup. You literally nothing else. I don't know how he got ranked the top 15 coach all time, because he's like 45th in win percentage among all coaches. And I think it's just because he's coached for an insane 27 years and accumulated all these wins with damn near nothing to show for it. Like I was saying, though, honestly, props to the big 3 for having the coattails long enough to allow Doc to keep a prominent coaching gigs with the Sixers, with the Bucks, and like I said, just nothing to show for it for 2 decades after he won his championship with the Celtics. There's my little rant. Thank the Lords he's gone. What's next?
Number 4, as we all probably know, the end of the NBA season, we got a lot of rookies and two-way guys and bench players. Was able to go out there and show what they had, and Mr. Rookie Ryan Nembhard dropped 23 assists. Good God almighty. I don't care who you playing in the NBA, to do that is exceptional. Breaking Jason Kidd's math records. And if you don't know who Ryan Nembhard is, he is the younger brother of Andrew Nembhard, who plays for the Indiana Pacers. Both of these guys are from Canada. Both played for Gonzaga. Andrew was actually drafted. Ryan Nembhard is probably in the league because of his brother, who went undrafted, is on a 2-way. Look like he's probably going to be on the roster next year. And I know we got to show love to the, I don't want to say nobodies because he's in the NBA, but hey, what to end a season and showing Dallas that you can actually play, that they might can use you next year. Shit, Houston needs a guard, so maybe next year you can help us out with the 23 assists. So shout out to Ryan Nembhard by dropping 23 assists. Goodness grief.
Breaking Jason Kidd's record with Kidd on the bench coaching the team as it's happening is kind of that's a fun thing. But up next, speaking of more NBA records broken, Colin Knueppel, we've talked about him before, becomes the first rookie to lead the NBA's in threes ever, finishing number 1, and right behind him, teammate LaMelo Ball. So like I said, Knueppel finishes as a 3-point authority in the league with 273 3-pointers made, while LaMelo finished with 272. The pairing became just the second pair of teammates to ever reach 273s in a season, joining no other than the Splash Bros, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson for the Warriors. And all of a sudden, we might be talking about the Charlotte Hornets have the most terrifying backcourt duo of shooters in the league right now with those two. So, no, I don't think anyone in the right mind thought Khan was going to be this good, this quick. We're talking about one of the best 3-point shooters in the game already. Good for him. Good for the Charlotte Hornets team that got their guard pairing. What's next?
Number 6, WNBA season is finally here, and tonight was the NBA draft. Number 1 pick goes to UConn's Azzi Fudd. She got drafted to the Dallas Wings. And I was a little questioning what were they doing, because they're already guard heavy with Paige Bucher, Arike Obenwale. They got Asa James, JJ Quinterly. They're bringing Curtin over. But as LeBron brought his son in, as Giannis brought both of his 2 brothers in, clearly Miss Paige Bucher has real pull in that program, where she said, hey, listen, bring my girlfriend in. And guess what the Dallas did? I guess she pulled those strings and brought, and I'm not taking away from Azzi Fudd, even though she had a terrible Final Four performance. But for 2 years, she's kind of been one of the best players in college women's basketball. So I get why they did it. I just thought they needed down low. So I thought they were going to go with a sure thing. But we'll see how this go, because usually it doesn't work when you have relationships on the team, which she's actually not the first. This is WNBA, so they have multiple teams with relationships on the team. Yeah. I won't get too deep in it, but we know. But we'll see how this works.
Real quick, who did you think would go number 1 overall? Just if you had a name.
Betts. I thought Betts was going to go because they need down low, and I think they're already guard heavy. You got to think Arike is she's kind of Luka. She just needs the ball in her hand all the time. Paige Bucher needs the ball, and Azzi Fudd is a girl who's also a volume shooter too. So I just thought they were going to go down low. The short thing, the 6'7", champion. Just she would fit good with them. She can run the floor. She's super athletic, can pop out 15. I just didn't know they were going to go with another guard. They're already guard heavy. So, yeah, I thought Betts was going. And while I'm here, goodness grief, Indiana Fever. Why did we draft another guard who couldn't score, Raven Johnson? And to bat Raven Johnson, I don't know if people remember 3 years ago when Caitlin Clark was in the Final Four. She was the guard that Caitlin Clark actually waved off. So they don't actually have good zing on each other. They actually don't like each other a lot because Raven Johnson was the guard that Caitlin Clark waved off in the zone, like, hey, go take that shot. We don't respect you. And we go draft her like we need another guard. But we'll see how it works. I don't think it's going to work. But, yeah, Indiana Fever, I don't know what we're doing. And I like Raven Johnson. It's just not a fit for me. Just not a fit for me.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Back to NBA real quick. More records because NBA season ended when we got a record. Jokic officially becomes the first to ever lead an NBA season, in rebounds per game and assists per game. And caveat is Wilt Chamberlain did it with total rebounds and total assists. He never led an assist per game and rebounds a game. So this becomes the first time in history that ever happens. Jokic finishes the year 27.8 points a game, 12.9 boards, and 10.9 assists per game for a center is absurd, and he lapped the competition. Cade Cunningham finished second in assists per game at 9.9, a whole assist away per game, while Cat was second in rebounds at 11.9, a whole board away. So he just blew away everyone this year. Of course, he missed some games, and saw something from the fadeaway report where Jokic's last 10-game stretch of the regular season produced 252 points, 145 boards, and 127 assists, and registered as the best 10-game stretch out of 1.4 million 10-game spans in NBA history, playoffs, regular season, you name it. And it really fueled that Nuggets 12-game win streak to close out the year and secure the number 3 seed. So Jokic, being an otherworldly player, doing otherworldly things to lead his team to where they were trying to go to wrap up a crazy dramatic finish in the West there. So, MVP voting is going to be real interesting this year with how he finished out. And obviously SGA and Wemby just dominated too. But all right, next up.
Number 8, Mac Muncy ripped off 3 homers this weekend, including the walk-off to make the Dodgers history. He already had 2 solo shots early in the game. He set the tone, but then the Dodgers closer, Diaz, just had a major meltdown in the 9th to let the Rangers tie it all in 7. But Muncy came up in the 9th, step to the plate, and golly, hit one, walk-off, hit of all seasons. And we're talking about a reliever who actually hasn't given up a hit all season. So he had a walk-off solo shot, and the hat trick makes Muncy the first player with a 3-run homer game, including a walk-off since 2022, and the only second Dodgers to do it since 1959. I've been telling y'all, everybody's saying, oh, the Dodgers, they're not going to make it back. They're not the best team. Listen, the Dodgers are the champion until they're not the champion again. I've already said it. I think they're going to win it again. We already know just too much talent in LA. So, hey, I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to say it. I know Austin and Joey going to go with their teams, but hey, the Dodgers will win again this year.
You ain't wrong. Best team in baseball so far to start, and it'd be more surprising if they weren't the best team in baseball so far. So, Dodgers gonna Dodger, and it just sucks. And speaking of my team and Iman's team in the same breath here, crazy enough, this one kind of took baseball world by storm. That the Brewers are struggling right now. They got swept by the Nationals in Milwaukee, and they hit a 5-game skid already. And it's early, but I don't think anyone saw this yet. Iman's throwing on the Washington Nationals cap. Good for you. Must be nice. So the Brewers entered last week 8-2, looking like the class of the NL Central, right up there with the Dodgers and whatnot. But they left the weekend 8-7 after dropping 2 of 3 to the Red Sox, who were in their own just chaos mode of suck themselves. And then, like I said, getting swept by the Nationals, who brought in one of the worst ERAs in baseball to Milwaukee to face a Milwaukee lineup that has been one of the tops in runs scored in baseball. So you think this would be an easy Brewers sweep. It goes the other way. It's the first time the Nationals have swept the Brewers in Milwaukee since 2006, with many thanks to the Brewers' miraculously poor 2 for 24 with runners in scoring position during their 5-game skid. And they've just been racking up the errors after starting so clean. It's been errors after errors. Gary Sanchez making one of the worst throws you'll ever see out in first base. No idea why he's playing first base at all. And the roster depth being an inexpensive roster. Christian Yelich once again exited with an injury. Already is just brutal to see. He's been fighting through injuries every season for years now, it feels like. And the bullpen is already just giving up game after game. The close, we got a problem with the closer already. And what's next for the Brewers? It's the Blue Jays, the AL champ Blue Jays, who they got to get through next. So going to be tough to get back on track. But yeah, early surprise to see the Brewers struggling. Not many saw that one coming. What's next?
All right, last but not least, y'all know I love my track and field. And what a phenom, Mr. Gout Gout, 18-year-old Australian. African native, but he's an Australian sprinter who everybody's been comparing to Usain Bolt since he stepped on the scene. Already ran sub 10 at 17, but now, goodness grief, he already ran 1993 last year. But what he did this weekend, running a new U20 world record, 1967. Now it's getting a lot of hate because we all know a lot of times that come out of Australia haven't been super official, because I seen a couple videos where you can actually hear the wind blowing, but for somehow it was legal wind. And if you can hear wind in the video being videotaped, then it can't be legal wind on the track. But still, a wind aided, what people don't understand, wind aided don't make you better than what you are. It gives you a little bit of push, but I mean, 19.6 is 19.6. Wind aided or legal, Gout Gout is one of the best phenoms coming in track and field, and I can't wait to see exactly what he will do in the future. Like I said, he's African native, but he runs for Australia, and I don't know if y'all see a picture of him. He's all African, but you know, Africans usually are distance runners. He's one of the few sprinters that will shake up the world come 2028 when the Olympics come around at LA. So shout to Gout Gout. Y'all know I love my track. It was all track this weekend anyway. I mean, I could have had so many things at number 10, but yeah, Gout Gout, shout to you, brother.
Well, I mean, I saw that, and then that one was one of those things that took every sports channel. Like, oh, he's already passing up Usain Bolt at 18. Some records that people probably didn't think would happen. So are you trying to assume this is not legitimate?
Yeah, because a lot of times it was ran in Australia a few years ago leading into the World Championships. Them guys got to the World Championships and, I mean, wasn't even close. And you got to think a lot of these countries, they're superstars. They got to run them fast. They got to make sure the wind gauges is covered, because literally all you got to do is stand in front of the wind gauge and it will not read the wind. So, and I've seen that done at professional track meets. I've heard of that happening at professional track meets because my girl's a 12-year professional. So it happens, but he's been a talent since 15. They've been comparing him to Usain Bolt since 15. So I do say he is legitimately a phenom. Whether the time is real, we'll see, but he's going to be in 2028 Olympics. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Well, that'll be an interesting to watch play out. I'm sure he'll smoke past everyone. I'm sure you're going to have one of your 757 natives will be right alongside him.
Quincy Wilson's going to be there.
Youngblood.
Quincy Wilson's going to be there in 2028.
Oh man, that'll be interesting. Well, we talked a little bit about basketball. The NBA regular season has come to a wraps. So why don't we get into really quick, who was our kind of biggest surprise to the season, our biggest surprise team, player, situation, whatever, coach, you name it. Who Iman, was your biggest surprise this year in the NBA ranks?
The Atlanta Hawks kind of surprised me, just such of a young roster. Jalen Johnson really came onto the scene where, I mean, he's going to be dangerous in the playoffs. So I'm looking at them to probably make a run. Like I told you, I'm already calling that first upset over the Knicks. I just have not looked at the Knicks this ending of the season and been impressed. So I'm already calling that upset in the first round. Also, my Houston Rockets, man, though I knew we would be good because KD kind of elevates any team he's on, and I'm still a little shaky. I think we got lucky getting the Lakers in the first round. I just think we still just lack point guard play in the clutch. Like when Alpha Sagun is our guy that we got to be able to distribute in the clutch and to get the offense going, I just don't feel comfortable like that. And granted, KD's still capable of taking games over and saying, hey, give me the ball, let me go. I just, not having a point guard in the playoffs is just so scary for me. But like I said, we'll make easy work of the Lakers in the first round. Hopefully we get some confidence. I mean, because we do have a team that could get to the Western Conference Final. I mean, Alpha Sagun's all pro. KD is one of the greatest scorers ever to play in the NBA. I mean, the Thompson twin is just an all-around, just Swiss Army knife, can play defense, rebound, score whenever he wants to. So we'll see. Reed Shepherd off the bench. We'll see. But, yeah, I'm going with Atlanta. They're my super surprise. And like I said, Jalen Johnson, I mean, woof. You talk about a star. He's a star now.
Oh, yeah. So Jalen Johnson, next superstar on that team, no doubt about it. I mean, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I mean, he has another great story as well. They obviously gave him the 4-year, $60 million extension this year, finishing over 20 points a game, really strong on the defensive side as well. And trading Trae Young, something about trading Trae Young just set this franchise in the right direction where it exactly needed to go. Getting CJ McCollum was a great vet to get on that for that offense. It was a really just an undercover story for the year. And like you said with the Rockets too, man, I mean, knocking off the Timberwolves for that important seeding late. Now getting the Lakers is a huge draw for them. The Rockets were one of, I thought you would take them for sure. They were definitely one of my biggest storylines, being a top offense, thanks to just great shooting, rebounding success. And then, this is also a team that got rid of Fred VanVleet, considering he was one of the better players. They're just doing this all despite losing him. And yeah, the KD trade, one of the biggest trades maybe in NBA history, the 7-man trade ends up being exactly what y'all need for some reason. Like obviously finishing 52-30 is a great year for a team that most thought were going to be a play-in team this year. So the Rockets, they seem to be on the trajectory that they need to be. And yes, Sengun is just a great, great big man down low. Ime Udoka's system too. Physical, hard to beat, good brand of basketball. So easy to get behind that one. I was another team who was kind of started the year as a fringe team, but they same spot. I think they also finished as the 5 seed this year. Yeah, the Raptors. So both of the Rockets 5 seed, the Raptors 5 seeds. Again, they were kind of a consensus play-in territory to start the year. End up making it as a 5 seeds. They're coming off of a 30-win season last year, which projected them another lottery pick this year. Instead, they finished 46-36, the 11th best record in team history, which is, not saying it's not nothing. 11th best, but this team has multiple 50-win seasons, a championship team, a great little run there with Kawhi Leonard. They clinched their first playoff berth in 4 years. They make a plus 16 win improvement on the season. And this is a season after new front office leadership for the first time in over a decade. I don't remember his name, but he was like their VP and chairman or whatever. He's gone like right after the draft, this last draft. So that was a big front office change that they had to navigate as well. But in the process, you want to talk about another guy who becomes a star. Their team's version of Jalen Johnson, you got Scotty Barnes going off for over 19 a game, over 8 boards, 5 assists, shooting almost 50% from the field, improving his three-point percentage from sub 30% three-point shooter to over 36% was a huge leap. You got guys like RJ Barrett, who was on the chopping block for a long time, a big trade candidate early. He comes into a complimentary role, thrives, kills it. And then their head coach, Darko, I always butcher his last name when I see it, but I just think Rajakovic, I don't know how you say it, whatever. I just know Darko. And their defense has been really good. And I think his story has been one of the better underrated coaching stories of the year. with like, you ask many people who's on the Toronto Raptors, you're probably not going to get many answers outside of like Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett. That's assuming this person watches a lot of
Brandon
basketball.
Ingram. Yeah, Brandon Ingram's on that team.
Ingram too.
Yeah, Brandon.
Yeah, he's there too. Like they have a nice little core. But again, no one who's like a world beater by any means. It just like all the pieces worked really well together. And the scheme was a good spot. So I think we kind of nailed it. I think those are 3 really good turnaround teams this year. Some big
for sure.
teams. You could also throw the Celtics as one of the big turnarounds. Granted, they got better last year. How about we do this then? For the sake of did I say the Celtics?
Yeah, but they're scary though. Did you see what their bench riders did against Orlando? I listen. They're going to be scary in the playoffs. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, and I did mean to say Pistons. The Celtics, the fact that they're this good and a whole season without Jason Tatum, essentially, like they're going to be just Joe Mazzulla knows is just doing something. That whole organization is doing the right stuff. They're always perennial contenders, and this might be the best they've looked in some time now. But the Pistons, want to talk about like storylines. I was curious to get your feedback on where you think the Detroit Pistons like turn around from 2 seasons ago to now a 60-win team winning the East. Where do you think the Pistons turnaround ranks among the all-time NBA turnarounds? And before you answer, there's some context. So some options you got are the 07 Boston Celtics, who they added 42 wins immediately after assembling the big 3, go out to win the title. They just paid their way to success. You get the 97 Spurs, who added 36 wins after they coupled David Robinson with Tim Duncan. And of course, you probably know this better than me, but I was reading up, there's a lot of like tank speculation with David Robinson's injury to get the lottery pick to snag Duncan and turn that whole ship around. And then you get the 04 Suns, who had 33 wins after they made that Steve Nash signing to pair him with Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion, Joe Johnson in an elite, fast D'Antoni offense. So where would you put this Pistons going from 2 years ago, they lost 68 games to this year 60-win team?
Well, just to take it back to that Phoenix roster, they didn't keep that roster together long enough. I think if they would have won a championship keeping that roster together. But I do want to put Detroit at the top now because I thought they were at least 2 years away just because of their youth. You got to think Tobias Harris is their vet on their team. Mm-hmm. I didn't know Cade was going to be MVP good this year. So I'm going to rank them over because I think all of those other teams brought in vets. And, when you bring in certified superstar vets, they can turn over a team that fast. But as young as the Pistons are with J.D. Doran, Cade Thompson, a couple of – I forgot the other guy on the bench that was balling in one game. I can't see him. But I'm going to rank them number 1. I mean, there's nobody outside of Detroit that probably would have put an early bet that they would be the number 1 seed in the East. Nobody. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give them the best turnaround, over all those other teams. Because, I mean, like I said, you bring in the big 3. I mean, what you think is going to happen? I mean, pairing Nash with Amari Stoudemire, what you think is going to happen?
The team was loaded, man. I mean, that's a great roster. That Suns team.
Super talent. We're talking super talent. So I think Detroit got it from the grit, got it from the grind, got it from just being back tough again. Stewart on the bench adding attitude to their team, even though he hasn't been playing much lately. But I just think we didn't expect them to be here this fast. So shout out to their head coach. I mean, he earned this money. He earned that money. So, yeah, I'm going with Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, kind of brought JB Bickerstaff, easily could win Coach of the Year this year, but one of the league's top defenses, kind of brought some attitude era defense back to the Pistons of all teams. I mean, again, this is a team who from 2019 to 2024, they won a league worst 24% of their games, right? And then all of a sudden now they're a 60-win team with, Cade Cunningham posting career best numbers. Jalen Duren has developed into an elite role man down low big. And I'm agreeing here. And like you said, it's the way they built it compared to the other teams. It's that organic rebuild in league when you just kind of don't see it anymore. They didn't tank. You don't see that much. You see all these teams tanking. So they didn't go out and tank. They didn't go out and make some desperate, big time Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant 7-man trade. They did none of that. They didn't even add a superstar of any type. They didn't even add a lottery jackpot. But their best move lately has been drafting Cade Cunningham overall in 2021 at first overall. They've otherwise went out and added no big a move or anything. They just went out and got some vets that fit what they were trying to do. They hired the right coach in Bickerstaff, and they put all their faith in letting the young core just develop together, which all of these things have just become totally anomalies in today's basketball. So again, you compare them to the other teams who went out and essentially bought their way or brought in a superstar to turn things around. This has got to be one of the most impressive, if not the most impressive, I would agree, turnaround in NBA history. And granted, it wasn't one season. They got better last year to this year. Compared to 2 years ago when they lost to 68 games, the NBA record 28-game losing streak. Like, they're not that far removed from an NBA record losing streak. Yeah. And now they're, many think could win a title this year, 2 years later. So yeah, this has got to be to me the best organic build. But also, another reminder that Doc Rivers is a fraud. And this is my Doc Rivers vent episode. Now that he's finally gone, I just need to get it. I don't know if you got thoughts on Doc, but I just need to get
out. Yeah, I do, but go ahead. I'll let you.
That's it. No. I've said plenty enough.
I think he gets a bad rap now. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Doc Rivers is as good as his name has allowed him to keep getting jobs. Mm-hmm. Now, I do know how hard it is to win an NBA title in the NBA. But me and you could have won it with the big three, literally.
Nope. Exactly.
And let's be clear. He blew it against Kobe. And granted, it's Kobe in Game 7, but he should have had 2. I look at some of them rosters and be like, did y'all really expect Doc Rivers to win the championship in LA with the Clippers? I know they made it interesting, but I just think he kind of get a bad rap for being a bad coach. And I'm looking at some of them rosters like, well, what did you expect him to do with those? And like I said, I'm in agreements. I don't think he's as good as everybody says he is. I've literally seen him rotationally wise just be like, what the fuck is that? So I don't think he's that good of a coach, but he did win a championship. He's probably done in the NBA now. He's going to be
front office, ruin someone's front office.
Broadcasting. He's going to have this voice right here on the NBA in tonight. So I think he's going to be broadcasting, but yeah, he's pretty trash. But he's in the NBA Hall of Fame though, or the Naismith Hall of Fame. So.
But that's why I said I think the only reason he's in there, and granted, it's another thing that's hard to do is sustain longevity. He's got 40 years of service in the NBA. It'd be crazy at a player to high level coach. Obviously the Magic where he started, he got a great turnaround. He had a great start when he got to the Magic and turning that thing around, gets to the Celtics. But then ever since then, man, ever since that Big 3 championship, his resume is just marred by choking, underwhelming. Some of those Sixers teams, man, high expectations. And yeah, there was some injuries and stuff, but any team that he coached never followed through besides the original and greatest Big 3 ever assembled in the history of basketball. That's it. That's the only team. So for him to be ranked the 15th greatest coach, I was like, what the hell? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's crazy.
What have you done? He has not done anything in 20 years besides somehow get high profile jobs in the NBA. And yeah, like I said, he started with the Bucks with a really good thing. The Dame thing when he got here was already kind of in a weird spot, but he also did absolutely nothing to make it better or make it go in the right direction to turn that thing around. And then the Bucks started doing some weird roster stuff. They went through roster change, and obviously they made the terrible moves to go get Kyle Kuzma, which is still just bust my balls to this day that they went and did that. Even if it was time to move off Middleton, Kuzma.
Yeah,
the Bucks started making some weird moves. Also, shout out AJ Green on the Bucks. Shooter, no one saw coming, ends up setting the Bucks single season record for 3-pointers made. So keep him around, please, Bucks, please. So there were things that again, roster wise, were maybe out of Doc's control. I bet he had some say. I just don't know how he lasted as long as he did. This thing was never good, and fans have wanted him gone for a long time now. So I'm happy we finally got our wish, and it's over.
Is Giannis gone though? Answer that. Yeah. You think Giannis gone? It's a wrap.
And that's another reason why I just can't stand that they let this leash go on with Doc for so long. Is like, now here we are where this whole end of Giannis's tenure in Milwaukee is just a shit show. It's toxic. Like I said an episode ago, it's just the Derrick Rose situation in Chicago, just like a couple years later in his career, where it got toxic. Organization and player were far from on the same page. Coaching not on the same page. And like, yeah, Shams is always going to rip the Bucks. Shams has been trying to pull freaking Giannis away from the Bucks for 7, 8 years now. His word means nothing to me. He is useless to me. The one thing I actually agree with Doc is like, where's Woj at? Get Woj back in here. So I agree with that part. But it all helped play into this spiral of like, now, like, there's no way we can do this, keep this going with Giannis. And we know this is kind of going to be one of those last off seasons to maximize the return you could get on him. You wait another year, he's another year older. He's coming off of what he played 30 something games this year. So big injury season. Was some of it milked a bit? Probably. It was, whether it being the organization not playing him or Giannis, whatever the situation was, it kind of just, it's all soured now. I don't see a world where it's comes back. Of course, Giannis is out there saying like, the only thing you hear is these news stories, but you should just take it from me. And I don't know. I feel like it's just that we've run out of tread on this one at this point. Dude, I'm telling you, if they could just go trade for a couple of those cats from the Hawks, go get me Johnson.
Yeah, and that's why I say I wonder where Giannis want to play though. It's because he's a weird guy. He's kind of
been talking about Joe Mazzulla a lot lately, and I don't like that.
Nah, hell no. We can't see. Nah, I don't want to see him in Boston. Come on, man. Come on.
It's gonna be Boston. It's gonna be the Nets. I don't know what I think if the Knicks get bounced in round 1 this year, I think they're gonna be looking to do something dramatic, and that's an obvious fit, or something that's been talked about. So it's going to be someone on the East Coast, one of those big markets on the East Coast. It's got to be. I don't see who else would make any sense, and it makes it a shorter flight for him to go back to Greece if he's on the East Coast too. So
shit, I love him in Houston. I ain't gonna lie to you. We give up everything for him.
Man, put him on the coast in Atlanta though. Really, go get me Johnson. Go get me Nikhil. I can do that. I can live with that trade.
But I don't think they'll give them 2 up for him. I'm just being honest.
Well, okay, we'll give him Kuzma. Hey, you guys want?
Hey,
take Kuzma. He's a great player. You guys are gonna love him. You're gonna love him. Fans are gonna want that jersey. They're gonna
hang that fucking phone up on you, Austin. If you put Kuzma in that trade, they're gonna be like, click,
before you can even get Kuzma out of your mouth, the phone's getting hung up. But all right, let's go into some football to wrap it up. We haven't talked draft prospects in a hot minute here. We're no exact authority in this space, and it's you go on Twitter or something, it is just crowded with draft stuff, new draft AI tools, and all these draft people saying shit. It is just loud noise right now to be talking draft. So let's talk some draft. How about it? But let's dumb it down a little bit this week to who is our top my guy on offense and defense for this draft cycle. So, if you're not familiar with like a my guy, it's like someone who's not considered a top 15 or even a first round prospect that you just got all the confidence in the world that this is going to be a really damn good football player, someone who is going to end up playing to where like, could have seen a first round draft pick on him with how his career is turning out. Like a T. Higgins going in round 2 or something like that type of guy, or Devontae Adams even going in round 2, even later maybe. I remember a couple of years ago, my guy was Javon Bullard, and then the Packers ended up picking him. So still really feeling good about that one. Iman, why don't you start? Let's start with offense. Our offensive my guy. I was going to start with defense. I was going to start. Let's start with defense. Let's start with defense. Who you got? Do defense. Let's do D.
Listen, I've been beating the table about this guy all year. I'm going to keep beating the table on him. I think he's going to be an all-pro. I think he's going to be the next Brian Urlacher. Not so big. He's not as big, but I'm going to keep beating the table for Jacob Rodriguez. All day, every day, middle linebacker, Texas Tech senior. I mean, finished the season, 120 tackles, 4 interceptions, 7 forced fumbles. I'm talking about one thing that you can't measure at a combine is motor and heart. And this guy has it all. Mm-hmm. He's an underdog. Like I say, little undersized, 6'1". He's not the biggest. We talking now in the NFL, they looking at all the Sonny Styles and what's the other guy?
In the NFL, Arvell Reese?
Yeah, Arvell Reese, those guys, those freakishly linebackers. But I'm telling you, Jacob Rodriguez is a lunch pail guy, a guy that you know is going to play every down, going to play every game hard. He's going to put his head in the books, because when you don't have all those gifts, you got to study the game. You got to have instincts. And all year I've been beating the table on him. And everybody knows, because where he finished in Heisman, and he's been talked about, but he's going to be second, third rounder that people are going to forget about. And I'm telling you right now, listen, Baltimore, we need a replacement for Roquan Smith. He's on his way out. So I'm going to beat the table on Jacob Rodriguez. That's my guy. And I hope he doesn't make me like, he don't fucking know football. After 5 years. So
no way. I think this is a home run, my guy pick. And I don't know why somehow he won't be the first linebacker taken either, which I don't know why. He's got incredible instincts. He's got the sideline to sideline abilities, the playmaking ability. He's a dominant run defender. He showed up in coverage. Yes, he had some lapses in coverage. A lot of balls got caught him, but he's got the ability. Mind you, this is a guy, like you said, little undersized, tiny bit undersized. He came in as a quarterback into college, and he ends up finishing his college career as a legitimate Heisman candidate as a linebacker with just off the charts stats. And then he had a really nice combine. And, I think I would see him going to the Bills to replace Matt Milano, or the Buccaneers to replace Levante David. Those are my two favorite landing spots for him this draft cycle. I think someone, like you said, I think the elite, and you know what I love? I love college guys with elite production at a high level with obvious high floors. I hate all these first, second round picks of project guys with no production, just athletic profiles. I'm looking at you, Packers. We do it too damn often. It doesn't hit. And if it does hit, it takes years for something to come through. So I think, again, some coverage limitations, but he is just an absolute gritty football player. He knows how to shed blocks. He knows how to find the runner. Whoever's got the football, he likes to stick his nose in there. So I think that's a great one. Stick defensively, I guess. Mine is I've been all over defensive tackles this year because of the Packers' need for a defensive tackle. So I'm going with Domonique Big Citrus Orange, D-tackle, Iowa State. I just love the nickname, dude. Big Citrus, come on. I'm all the way bought in on that nickname. 6'2", 325 of just human being, a boulder at the point of attack. He is just one of those guys who's just functionally unmovable in a one-on-one. Two-time recipients of Bruce Feldman's coveted freak list, guys with just massive side and athletic traits. He's I was just reading on, he was cleaning up his diet this offseason, getting in better playing shape, only going to help his stamina with a guy that size. He earned all Big 12 honorable mention honors in 23 and 24. And the dude is just absolutely dominant at three things. I like a guy who rather than being good at everything, you're great at one or two things. So I would say I would argue he's most dominant DT in this class at devouring space and double teams, winning at the point of attack, and resetting the line of scrimmage. An easy comparison is TJ Slayton, former Packer, goes to the Bengals, just with more upside. You just stick him over the center, you stick him in the A gap, and he is absolutely causing hell. He needs some refinement as a pass rusher, but day one, this guy's going to contribute. He's going to not just contribute, he's going to be a legitimate asset on rundowns or short yardage set. And it's very easy to see him quickly becoming one of the most best run stuffing D tackles in the NFL, who should be able to grab you about 4 sacks a year. Just an absolute mauler. And the thing that's the biggest thing about him, besides his size, is he's that kind of nose tackle that frees up your linebackers to do their job. He eats up two guys. He's a linebacker's dream defensive tackle, essentially. And that's the type of dude, and that type of play style has longevity in the NFL, especially considering how skilled he is and how powerful he is. It's just, I can see him having a very, very long career. Anyone who gets old Big Citrus, I think he'll be very, very happy about it. He might go day 3 because he's not much of a pass rusher. And as a run specialist, that's not as coveted as some of the other guys that are being talked about, like Caleb Banks, Lee Hunter, a slew of other guys. He's probably the 4th or 5th top ranked defensive tackle on a lot of people's boards, but I'm all the way bought in that I think he's going to be one of the most impactful defensive tackles in the NFL in no time. And I hope he ends up in the old Green Bay Packers, because we need a freaking run game mauler up the middle. Just You watch his clips, man. He is just moving that shit. He controls where the line of scrimmage goes. I want that type of sumbitch on my D line. Now, that's what I'm looking for. All right. Offense.
Everybody know I'm an ex-college receiver. I'm a big college receiver, 6'3". You know, I wasn't that big, but I'm tall. My nephew's 6'4", 215, playing for Western Michigan. So y'all know I love my big receivers. I was going to go with Jordan Tyson, even though, you know, he's starting to slide just because people, just his injuries, people starting to say, oh, he's going to be durable. And I tell people all the time, I've been slamming Deion for a long time because I just don't think he's a good coach. But people don't understand. Jordan Tyson was in Colorado, and Deion let him go. He's supposed to be this guy. He played DB his whole year. Supposed to have the eye for talent. That's why the roster's gotten worse because he's terrible. But I'm going.
You see how small? Real quick, do you see them doing the run out of the tunnel video and they look like a bunch of middle schoolers?
Yeah, but the only thing on that, those is like specialty guys, like special team guys coming out early. No, I think they're going to be bad. I think they're going to be terrible. Deion doesn't know how to recruit. He doesn't know how to gauge talent. He's the worst talent evaluator at his level. I'm being honest. I'm telling you, I think he's the worst coach ever with the name and so much he can't coach. I mean, an athlete, the father, I love him for that, but he's a terrible coach. But yeah, Colorado's going to get the shit beat out of him this year. I can't wait so I can talk shit. But I'm going with Chris Brazzell, the second out of Tennessee, 6'4" guy, 200 pounds, ran a 4.3. I'm talking about blazing speed at his sides. Last year at Tennessee, 6'2" receptions, 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. He's a guy that, you know, people don't know about right now. Is not the best route runner, but if you need a big guy who can win the 50-50 balls, who's going to take the top off the defense, because you very seldom get a guy 6'4", 6'5" who can run a 4.3. It's just hard for those guys to get up to max velocity so fast. But I'm going with him. He's going to be a steal in the late rounds. Once again, I'm a Baltimore Ravens. Goodness grief. Can we stop drafting these mini fucking receivers, man, and go get a big guy who can stretch the defense? So I'm going with Chris Brazzell, the second out of Tennessee, like I said. And he had a little shaky because he only had one productive season. Before then, 2024, he only had 29 receptions, 300 yards. And the year before that, he had 44 for 700. So he's been kind of averaging 16 yards per catch for 2 seasons. But he's under the radar, but he's going to be a fabulous stretch the field number 2 guy. Kind of remind me of a faster T. Higgins to me. He's kind of a faster T. Higgins. Not as good as hands as T. Higgins, because I think T. Higgins probably got the best hands in the NFL, but he reminds me of a T. Higgins.
Well, yeah, I mean, he ran a 4.37, so obviously the speed and strides are something to be really excited about. It seems like just watching him, and a lot of consensus I'm seeing is like it's been a wait for the production to finally catch up to a very tradey guy. And this last year finally caught up. His draft stock's rising. He's having a ton of top 30 visits. And I think, I was watching a bunch of these wide receivers lately, and I think he's one guy where I think the consensus from a lot of folks is that wide catch radius. He can separate those deep routes. The intermediate breaks are just becoming much, much better. He's become a more fluid route runner. And I think that's something that's going to help him tremendously. The footwork is there. And then, I think as long as he can kind of like finish at the catch point, that seems to be where he's struggling right now. But I think there's so much upside with Chris Brazzell that it's like Brazzell, whatever it is. And that speed, man, that's some coveted speed, right? You cannot coach that speed. You can't teach that speed. So I think he's a very exciting prospect. How about I'm going to stay wide receiver with you. I'm going to go off the script a little bit, off the mainstream a little bit. And I'm going guy Ted Hurst, wide receiver out of Georgia State. He's projected to go round 3 right now. And to me, he's an electric factory personified. I kind of came across him for the first time really at the Senior Bowl, where he was a big winner at the Senior Bowl, showed out there. He was a combine winner, standing at 6'4", 208 pounds, ran a 4.4 speed. He's got a 99th percentile in the broad jump. Over his last 2 years, finishes with 127 catches, just under 2,000 yards, 15 scores. And what I like about him is he got better and more productive each college season. And even better is the work ethic and his commitment to improvement. Here's a guy who went from a 0-star recruit to now we're talking about a potential top 50 pick. And he never played at the highest level. He didn't play with the big dogs. And you can say that's a knock. We haven't seen him against the best. He had a game against Vandy where I believe he had 7 catches, 70 yards, something like that. So a nice outing against a legitimate football program. But I would argue, of all like the Chris Brazzell of the world, those deep guys who can take the top off, I would argue he's a top 2 or 3 take the top off guy in this draft. He actually led the FBS the last 2 years on catches of 20-plus yards. And like I said, just watching as many clips of him as I can, he just burns through the top of secondaries. It makes sense that I'm seeing some Christian Watson comparisons out of him in the sense of he's got the really, really strong contested catch rate, 60% contested catch rate's elite. He's got the size, he's got the speed, the burst, all of that fun stuff. And so I'm thinking, having watched him for, like I said, it's kind of since getting more on him since the Senior Bowl, I am sold. I am planting my flag. Last year, I planted my flag on the Kyle Williams hill, who's now a Patriots receiver. This year, I'm planting my flag on the Ted Hurst hill. He's got the route savviness and polish. Iman, you can talk on this as a receiver too. It's hard to coach route running to become an elite route runner. You can coach better hands and catching the ball. Like, you can work on that. It's easier to develop. He's got the burst. He's got the strong hands. I think he's got an area to improve in terms of his hands aren't as soft. He had a 9% drop rate last year. So, like, to me, again, that's the easiest thing to coach up and get right. We saw a lot of guys like Devontae Adams struggled tremendously early on with catches, and now he's Devontae freaking Adams. Whereas his route running crispness would stack up to most of the other like top guys. Maybe not the top guy, but would stack up in most classes as one of the better route runners.
And it's super rare because you never really see tall guys actually that good at route running because it's just hard for tall guys to kind of get their hips low and get out of breaks because you think Justin Jefferson and JSN, all of those guys are under 6'2". So to be a tall guy with elite route running, I mean, he's going to make a team happy because you just rarely see them big, tall guys who can be like that when it comes to running routes. I mean, you got to think the greatest route runner ever, Jerry Rice, just wasn't that tall. So, I mean, he's going to last a long time if he's that big and that tall and can get in out of those breaks, man. So,
yeah, that's exactly what you just said. A lot of what I was seeing is like he's very good at sinking his hips on a route and just stopping on a dime. And better yet, like he's a guy, I mean, when you watch him do a catch and run, I don't know if y'all listen to remember when Christian Watson had that game against the Eagles where he caught the slant route and then he just burst across the field. No one could catch him for 60 yards or something. Lots of stuff like that with Ted Hurst, where if it's a catch and run situation, man, you better hope you got your lightning shoes on to catch this guy. He forced 17 missed tackles last season. He's a very good runner with the ball in his hands too. And even better, there are lots of instances where they tried to throw the fade up to him in the red zone to use his size, his contested to catch ability. He's going to win a lot of those battles. I don't care how good of a cornerback you are. He's got the capability to win that. And that's where I think, like, again, he hasn't played against the elite talent, but the skills he has will translate. The route running skills translates against the most elite talent. The contested catching skills translates to going up against the big guys. And we'll see if he holds up. I mean, Georgia State is, it's not the best competition. And I know he's a little bit raw in terms of just his natural catching abilities, but that's something you can improve quickly. He's got everything else that's like, it makes his ceiling so exciting as a player where not many people are talking about him. Don't be surprised if you hear him go round 2. Probably will go round 3, but he's got the talent and the capability and the ceiling to go around. You put this guy on any of the Power 5 schools this last year, I think we're not even having a debate that he's considered one of the top receivers in this class, round 2 lock type of thing. Very similar to Michael Gallup, just without the injuries.
I'm going to call my guy too. Guy I coached in high school, CJ Beasley, was a transfer running back for Georgia State a year ago. He went from Coastal Carolina, and then he went to Georgia State for his last year. So I'm going to call him and ask him. I coached him all through high school, track and football. I'm gonna call him. He's in the service now. He tried to make a run for the league, but it didn't work. So he's working in the service now. But I'm gonna call him. He was just there not last year before last. So I'm gonna call him and ask him what type of player that guy is. Yeah, he was down at Georgia State. So I'm gonna call him and ask
Interesting. Him. That would be interesting to hear what he says. I mean, for me, I had an honorable mention. I did want to just throw out really quick. Bud Clark, I think, is one of my favorite safeties in this league. I love a guy who's just got a ball hawk reputation and just wicked instincts to always be around the football. 15 career picks, flies around the field, and then offensively, my honorable mention here. And I'm not comparing him to Jahmyr Gibbs, but like this year's version of Jahmyr Gibbs is Mike Washington Jr., the running back out of Arkansas. He's probably going round 2, but that's where Jahmyr Gibbs was projected to go when he came out. And then all of a sudden, the Lions picked him really early, and everyone's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Nah,
we all look at how it worked.
Yeah, we all knew Jahmyr Gibbs was going to be Jahmyr. That's the Dowsome reach right there, Austin. But hey, I'm gonna go with your eyes, but that's a reach.
I just after we're done here, go watch. Just go.
No, I know
who
you talk about, but Jahmyr
Gibbs is awesome. I'm not comparing him to Jahmyr Gibbs. No. I'm saying where he's projected to go and where he might end up going.
Okay.
No, I'm not saying he's going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. No. That said, he's got 4.33 speed is nuts, and he's 6'2", 220, running a 4.3. Folks, like this might be RB2 in the draft. So I'm saying, like, right now, there's lots of round 2 projections. Don't be surprised you hear his name in the 20s, Mike Washington. And that's why I was like, he might get overdrafted like how Jahmyr Gibbs did. But like again, the 3-down potential day one is there. He's so fun to watch. The rare size speed combo. I'm surprised I didn't pick him. I also love Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska too. So I'll throw
my little honor. I got to say honorable mention for defense too. Dalen Everett for Georgia cornerback. Yeah, the cornerback. Also, guess where he's from? He went to Northview High School, but he ended up transferring to IMG because he was just such a good prospect. But he's going to be a guy that's going to be in the late rounds. Big DB, moves a little better than they think he can. He just didn't get a chance to show it, but super physical guy, not scared to come up, make tackles, good ball skills. But he's a guy that's kind of been elite for years. So watch out for Dalen Everett. And his brother is the starting quarterback at Maury High School, the school that I coach at. He threw for like 5,000 yards last year and like 60 touchdowns. So his younger brother's going to be up there soon too. So anywho.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could do the honorable mention thing all day if you want to. I was tough to not pick Kyle Lewis here either. The Pittsburgh's linebacker, safety hybrid guy. I mean, he just ripped the Senior Bolt to shreds with his coverage ability. Undersized linebacker. He's that hybrid guy who it's like not sure how that translates. It's tough. He's got to find the exact right thing and the exact right coach who knows how to use that talent. But he's got the speed. He's got the sideline to sideline. He's elite. He's like one of those linebackers where you can plug into just about any scheme and you're going to get some really good play.
I think he'll kind of be more like a Jamal Adams type of guy, like somebody who just and Jamal Adams late in his career was just like an in-the-box guy, maybe check flats and stuff like that. So I think he'll be that. Listen, I'm with you. I could go all day. I'm rooting for the 4th rounder, the 5th rounder that becomes a Pro Bowler, that becomes a Hall of Famer. Like I love those stories every year. The 7th round pick who just works his ass to just becomes one of the greats. So I'm rooting for all these guys we're talking about because they're not the big names and the names people remember. And we always know we're going to get one every year. So I want to see those guys really shine.
All right, maybe next episode then we got to maybe do a shout
Mr.
out
Irrelevant. We got to find a Mr. Irrelevant.
Like Mr. Irrelevant segment. We'll do it like our favorite round, like 5th, 6th, or 7th pick ever. We'll do like round 5, 6, or 7, or maybe just 6 or 7. We'll see. A Mr. Irrelevant section. Our favorite.
Well, we can't do 7. Well, we got to exclude Tom Brady. We can't say Tom.
Okay,
Brady.
yeah, exclude Tom Brady. And for me, it's already easy. I already know my answers. Like Donald Driver, Packers. Freak. Yeah, we might have to do that. All right. Until next time, man, we got the draft coming up so fast next week. I'm so excited about it. Until next time, have fun watching some more baseball this week. I think everything else is done in sports for right now. So we got baseball,
playing games. Wednesday.
Oh yeah, playing games
Wednesday.
True. We got some hockey. I don't watch hockey for shit, so I kind of just forget about it sometimes.
I don't watch much either.
I watch playoff hockey, but I will watch playoff hockey. That shit gets good. That gets physical. Anyways, until then, we'll see you.